Hi, everybody. Dennis Gebhart with Guru Village here. Just wanted to say hello to you and to let you know that we have another experiment. You know how we are as a company. When we hear some of these amazing stories, sometimes we try to put the products to test. So, there's been a lot of talk in our industry about enzymes. And funny thing is, enzymes started being talked about in the 70s, then it went away, then it came back in the 80s, then it went away, then it came back in the 90s, and then it went away. So it's kind of had its own time in the spotlight and then kind of diminished. But it seems like enzymes are becoming popular again. And so we don't have any issues with what you use. You make those choices as a salon professional. However, it's important, I think, for you to know what you use and to differentiate the difference between facts and a story. So we put the product to test, just like we would peroxide. And many of you have seen our video on peroxide. So we put it side by side. We tested one of the #1 selling enzyme developers side by side with a 40 volume developer. And we, of course, chose protein so you could visually see it. You can't see it in hair. So, of course, we're back to using our slices of sirloin meat. So why do we do that? Because we know that peroxide degrades protein. It converts cysteine into cysteine. So it makes protein into gelatin, if you will. You can't see that with your eyes on the hair because you do not have a scanning electron microscope in your eyes. You can only feel and see what you see with your eyes. And that is not always what's happening in the hair. So sit back and just take the information. Don't shoot us. We're just the messenger. I'll see you at the end of this video, and then you can tell me what you think. All right, so sit back, enjoy. Here we go.
Today I'm doing an experiment and testing the oxygen levels in the higher and higher versus 40 volume on raw protein. So here's higher and higher, and I'm pouring it on top of the protein. So now we're going to check back in 10 minutes and see what it looks like. Okay, here's the higher and higher with a piece of protein. And here's the 40 volume with a piece of protein at 10 minutes. Here is the higher and higher, and it's very tender. The toothpick comes out pretty easily. I'm flipping it over. You can see the other side. So really most of the developer sat on the very top, and you can see how it discolored everything. Now here with the 40 volume, the toothpick sticks more into the meat. It's not as mushy as the other piece. Now it's still light colored on the back also, and it's a little worn on the top. So now if I move them both together, you can see where the higher and higher is very similar to the 40 volume, except it looks like it has more degrading around the edges. So that's something that I noticed, and this has been 30 minutes. Okay, here I am looking at this meat, and it has sat for an hour and 10 minutes. This has really degraded in the higher and higher. This one not so bad. This is just so tender, the toothpick just comes out pretty easy. So you see that? Where over here, when I put the toothpick in it, it's not as, it's still got some muscle or something left in it. I don't know. But this one is just so degraded. You can just see how tenderized this meat is. So of course it stands up a little bit, but it just goes right through to the other side, where this one, not so much. I mean, you can see how the meat sticks on here. Oop. Whereas over here, the toothpick comes right out. Won't even stay on the toothpick. See? can see how degraded this is versus this one here.
All right. Well, I'll bet you found that very interesting, didn't you? Now, look, you can use what you wish. We're not here to tell you what to use. But what we want to do is we want to make you aware of what you're using. So when someone comes up to you and says, this ingredient is so much less damaging to the hair than what you're currently using, be cautious about that. Because here's what we know. In order to color hair, you must use chemicals. You can't color it any other way. So lightening hair with no damage, impossible, okay? Because just simply by lightening hair, if you go in the sun and your hair lightens, it's lightened because you've degraded the protein in your hair. So we must be wise when we choose the products we choose to use on our clients' hair. Remember, we can only see things with regular eyesight and feel things. So if they put emollients in the products, all of that, it's very hard for us to measure the integrity of the hair. But you have to be diligent, because you can do anything to hair once, but our goal is to be able to do it over and over and over again. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please share it with your friends. Our goal is not to go out and tell you one thing is bad or one thing is good. Our goal is to go out and tell you what it is. Because as my grandpa always said, if it walks like a duck and it sounds like a duck, guess what? It's probably a duck, okay? Wishing you the most success. Hope you discover your genius. From my heart to yours, Captain Color, out.